Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 1, The Beginning of Two Philosophies. What if everything you've been taught about money is wrong? What if working hard, getting good grades, and climbing the corporate ladder is not the path to wealth, but the trap that keeps you broke? This is the story of two fathers. One rich, one poor. And how their teachings shaped a young boy into a man with financial freedom most only dream of. Welcome to Rich Dad Poor Dad, the classic financial awakening that challenges the beliefs we've carried for generations. This isn't just a book summary, this is a shift in how you view money, success, and the life you're building. Chapter 1, The Two Dads, A Tale of Contrasts. Robert Kiyosaki was raised with two father figures. His biological father, an educated and respected man who believed in traditional values: study hard, get a secure job, and live within your means. This was the poor dad. His best friend's father, a high school dropout who built an empire through investing, entrepreneurship, and understanding money. This was the rich dad. From an early age, Robert was exposed to the conflicting philosophies of both men. One said, the love of money is the root of all evil. The other said, the lack of money is the root of all evil. Poor dad believed in stability. Rich dad believed in financial independence. And young Robert stood between them, absorbing, questioning, and eventually choosing a path. The first spark: how do I become rich? The story begins when 9-year-old Robert asked his poor dad, "Dad, how do I make money?" His father replied, "Go to school, get good grades, and get a good job." But something about that didn't sit right. Robert and his friend Mike, son of rich dad, wanted answers. So, Mike's father offered a proposition. "Work for me, and I'll teach you how to be rich." The catch? They'd start working for 10 cents an hour. Cleaning dusty shelves in one of rich dad's small convenience stores. It wasn't glamorous. In fact, it was frustrating. But it was the beginning of a powerful lesson. If you want to learn how to make money work for you, you must first break out of the mindset of working for money. Lesson 1, The Rat Race. Most people spend their lives caught in a loop. They wake up, go to work, earn money, pay bills, and repeat. The more they earn, the more they spend. Their lifestyle inflates with their income. They're running in a hamster wheel. And they don't even know it. This is the rat race. Rich Dad pointed this out early. He said, most people are so afraid of not having money that they never learn how to grow it. They work for money. But the rich make money work for them. Poor Dad would have called this irresponsible or risky. Rich Dad called it financial education. Foundations of a rich mindset. From here, Rich Dad introduced Robert and Mike to the rules of money that the wealthy understand. 1. You are not your job. A paycheck is not a solution, it's a sedative. 2. Fear and desire control most people. Fear of being broke pushes people to work hard. Desire for things makes them spend what they earn. Few ever break that cycle. 3. Don't work for money, learn how money works. Assets. Liabilities. Investing. Taxes. Leverage. These were the real subjects missing from traditional education. 4. The biggest risk is being financially uneducated. Without the right knowledge, even high earners can end up broke. Education versus financial education. One of the most provocative claims in Rich Dad Poor Dad is this: our school system prepares students to be employees, not employers. Poor Dad had advanced degrees and worked for the government. He was proud of his stability but struggled financially. Rich Dad had little formal education but was financially free by understanding how money works in the real world. Kiyosaki learned that real financial education comes not from textbooks, but from experience, observation, and willingness to question what everyone else blindly accepts. The power of passive income. Rich Dad planted the seed of passive income early. He told the boys, learn to build systems that generate money whether you work or not. Where poor dad might save for retirement, rich dad would invest in rental properties that provide monthly cash flow. businesses that operate without him, stocks and assets that appreciate over time. This wasn't about get rich quick. It was about becoming rich slowly and sustainably by making smart decisions consistently. Repetition versus reinvention. At this stage in the book, Robert introduces a powerful idea. The rich focus on acquiring assets. Everyone else focuses on income. This seems simple, but it's life-changing. While the poor dad mindset says, buy a bigger house once you get a raise. Get a nicer car to show you've made it. Retire with a pension. The rich dad mindset says, buy a property that pays your mortgage. Use surplus cash to invest, not impress. Retire early with multiple income streams. The philosophies are opposing forces, like two magnets. And once you feel the pull of the rich dad mindset, it becomes hard to go back. Conclusion of Part 1, Awakening the Inner Entrepreneur. By the end of this section, Kiyosaki has one goal: to wake you up. To help you realize that you've been taught to play a game without knowing the rules. To shift your mindset from employee to owner. From consumer to investor. From fearful to financially free. This is not just a story of two dads. It's the story of two futures, and the decisions we all face every day. The difference between being rich and being poor is not money. It's mindset. And the moment you begin to think differently is the moment you take your first step toward financial freedom. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 2, The 6 Lessons Rich Dad Taught Me. In Part 1, we met two fathers with two radically different outlooks on life and money. Now, we dive deeper into the heart of Rich Dad's teachings, 6 lessons that form the bedrock of wealth building. These are not quick tips. These are shifts in perspective. If you absorb these lessons, you won't just think differently, you'll live differently. Lesson 1, The rich don't work for money. Most people chase money. They work hard, then harder, hoping more hours will bring more freedom. But Rich Dad flipped the equation. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Here's what that means. When you work for money, you trade time for a paycheck. But there are only so many hours in a day. That model has a ceiling. The rich build systems, businesses, investments, and assets that generate income whether they're working or not. Kiyosaki recalls being furious when Rich Dad had him work for free as a boy. But that was the point. He was being trained to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an owner. When you no longer ask, how much will I get paid? And instead ask, what am I learning? How can I build something of my own? That's when the game changes. Lesson 2, Why Teach Financial Literacy? You've probably heard the phrase, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. But there's more, it's also what you do with what you keep. Rich Dad emphasized that wealth is built through acquiring assets, not just earning income. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Here's the problem, most people don't know the difference. They think a house is an asset. But if it takes money out of your pocket every month in the form of mortgage, taxes, and repairs, it's not. Financial literacy begins by understanding the flow of money in your life. Common examples: assets, rental property, dividend stocks, businesses, intellectual property. Liabilities, personal homes, usually, car loans, credit card debt, anything that depreciates. The goal? Buy assets that produce cash flow. Then reinvest that cash flow to buy more assets. That's how wealth compounds. Money without financial literacy is like water in a leaky bucket. You can pour in more. But if you don't fix the holes, you'll never fill it. Lesson 3, Mind your own business. This isn't about being rude. It's about focus. Rich Dad told Robert. Stay focused on your own business. Build your asset column. Don't get caught in the trap of working your whole life for someone else. Too many people spend decades building someone else's dream, someone else's wealth, while neglecting their own. Kiyosaki says, your profession is not your business. Your assets are. You might be a teacher, but your business is building passive income. You might be an engineer, but your real work is building a portfolio of income-producing assets. Think like an owner, even if you're an employee. Don't confuse your job with your future. Your job feeds your present. Your business builds your freedom. Lesson 4: The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Here's where Rich Dad pulls back the curtain on a hidden truth. The tax system was designed to reward those who understand how to use it. Poor Dad thought taxes were fair, it's our duty to pay. Rich Dad thought taxes were a game, and the rich know how to play it legally and smartly. The wealthy don't just earn income, they structure it. They form corporations that allow them to deduct business expenses before paying personal taxes. Protect assets from lawsuits. Take advantage of incentives designed for investors and business owners. Kiyosaki simplifies it. Employees earn, get taxed, then spend what's left. Corporations earn, spend, then get taxed on what's left. Real-world example. Let's say you make $100,000. As an employee, you pay taxes first, then your rent, car, food, and life. As a business owner with a corporation, you might deduct your car lease, phone, travel, office expenses, then pay taxes on what remains. That difference could mean thousands of dollars saved every year. The system doesn't favor the rich. It favors the informed. Lesson 5: The Rich Invent Money. This is where fear often enters the picture. Most people think, I don't have money to invest. What if I lose it all? It's too complicated. Rich Dad taught that opportunities are everywhere, but fear and ignorance blind people from seeing them. The rich invent money through creative deal-making, recognizing undervalued assets, understanding trends before others do. They don't rely on luck. They rely on education, courage, and action. Key insight. Kiyosaki once bought a house in foreclosure for $20,000 and resold it almost instantly for $60,000 because he saw an opportunity others missed. He wasn't gambling. He was prepared. He was trained to spot value others overlooked. That's the essence of inventing money. Opportunity is not hiding. It's waiting for you to recognize it. Lesson 6: Work to learn, don't work for money. The final lesson is perhaps the most profound. Rich Dad didn't encourage Robert to chase promotions or bigger salaries. Instead, he said, work to learn skills. Not for money. Learn how to manage people, sell, market, lead, and invest. He encouraged broadening your abilities, not just specializing in one thing. Why? Because in the world of money, the best salesperson wins. The best negotiator gets better deals. The best communicator attracts more opportunities. The rich are not the smartest, they're the most financially intelligent and skill-diverse. Lifelong learning. Robert worked for Xerox not to sell copiers, but to learn how to sell. He joined a real estate firm not to climb a career ladder, but to learn how deals were structured. Every experience was a stepping stone toward financial freedom. Don't ask, how can I earn more? Ask, what skill will set me free? Closing reflections, Part 2 summary. These 6 lessons form the spine of Rich Dad's teachings. 1. Don't work for money, make it work for you. 2. Understand money, especially the difference between assets and liabilities. 3. Build your own business, not just your employer's. 4. Use legal tools, like corporations and tax strategies, to your advantage. 5. Learn to see opportunities where others see risk. 6. Always work to learn, not just to earn. The richest people aren't born with a silver spoon. They're forged by experience, learning, and mindset. And with each lesson, Kiyosaki grew stronger, not just financially, but mentally. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 3, Overcoming Obstacles and Taking Action. You've learned the 6 key lessons from Rich Dad. You've started to see the difference between working for money and building wealth. But there's one more piece. Even if you know everything, nothing changes until you act. And most people don't. Why? Because knowledge isn't the only obstacle. There are emotional and mental roadblocks too. Let's uncover the 5 biggest ones, and how to move past them. Obstacle 1, fear. Fear is universal. Fear of losing money. Fear of failure. Fear of looking foolish. Here's the truth. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Rich Dad never said, "Don't be afraid." He said, "Learn to control it." Kiyosaki shares his own moments of loss, investments that didn't pan out, mistakes that cost thousands. But what separates him from most is that he used fear as fuel, not a cage. Everyone falls. The rich fall forward. They fail, learn, and return wiser. Fear doesn't stop them, it sharpens them. Practical takeaway. Don't aim to eliminate fear. Build courage by starting small. Educate yourself, fear fades when knowledge grows. Obstacle 2, cynicism. Cynicism is the voice that says, "That sounds too good to be true. Real estate's risky. The market's going to crash anyway." It's the voice of doubt, disguised as logic. And it kills more dreams than failure ever will. Rich Dad taught that cynics miss opportunity because they focus on obstacles. The rich focus on solutions. "The sky is falling" is a popular forecast. But fortune favors those who look up, not down. Doubt whispers from your past. Opportunity shouts from your future. Which voice will you follow? Real example. A person sees a rundown house. A cynic says, "That'll cost a fortune to fix." An investor says, "That's a $50,000 upside in disguise." Train your eyes to look for value, not flaws. Obstacle 3, laziness. This one stings because it's subtle. Kiyosaki says most people aren't lazy with work, they're lazy with priorities. They say, "I'm too busy. I'll look into that later. I'm tired after work." But the truth? They avoid financial growth because it demands energy, attention, and discomfort. Rich Dad said, "Busy people are often the laziest. They stay busy to avoid what really matters." Counter laziness with purpose. When your why is big enough, excuses shrink. If you say, "I want financial freedom to retire my parents," you'll wake up earlier. You'll read the book. You'll take the leap. Laziness isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing the easy things while avoiding the meaningful ones. Obstacle 4, bad habits. Habits are invisible systems. And many people have one toxic habit that holds them back. Paying themselves last. Rich Dad always paid himself first, even when he had bills. It wasn't arrogance. It was discipline. This forced him to think creatively to pay the rest. Build the muscle of self-worth. Prioritize his future, not just his present. When you pay yourself first, you tell the universe, "I matter." Replace bad habits with automatic investing, weekly learning goals, monthly reviews of your net worth. Don't drift. Design. Your future is being built by the habits you practice when no one's watching. Obstacle 5, arrogance. Arrogance is deadly because it's invisible to the person who has it. Rich Dad said, "What I know makes me money. What I don't know loses me money. But what I think I know, but don't, is what hurts me most." In other words, stay humble. Stay curious. The financially foolish stop learning. The financially wise read, ask questions, attend workshops, and listen more than they speak. You don't need all the answers. But you must remain open to them. The formula, knowledge plus action equals power. Kiyosaki ends this section with a practical roadmap. Knowing isn't enough. You must do. Here's his 10-step plan to awaken your financial genius. 1. Find a reason greater than reality. Why do you want to be rich? Make it emotional. Make it clear. Use it as your anchor. 2. Feed your mind. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Join financial communities. Learn every day. 3. Choose your friends carefully. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not drain you. 4. Master a formula, then learn a new one. Learn how to invest in one asset class. Then diversify as you grow. 5. Pay yourself first. Build the habit of investing in your future, even if it's just 1,000 Indian rupees per month to start. 6. Pay your brokers well. Don't cheap out on good advice. A great accountant, lawyer, or advisor can save you lakhs. 7. Be an Indian Robin Hood. Kiyosaki means, give to others. Teach what you learn. Empower those around you. 8. Use assets to buy luxuries. Don't buy a new car with your salary. Buy it with income from an investment. 9. Choose heroes. Study real-life role models. Learn how they think. Model their mindset. 10. Teach and you shall receive. When you teach others about money, your own understanding deepens. And opportunities multiply. Final reflection for part 3. We all face fear, doubt, and habit traps. But Rich Dad's wisdom teaches us how to move through them, not around them. This book is not a get-rich-quick guide. It's a wake-up call. A new lens through which to see work, money, success, and freedom. Kiyosaki doesn't say, quit your job tomorrow. He says, start building your freedom today. Because if you don't take control of your money, someone else always will. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 4, Building Your Action Plan. You've seen the mindset differences. You've understood the 6 lessons of Rich Dad. You've faced the emotional roadblocks. Now comes the part that separates readers from doers. Building your plan. The dream of financial independence is powerful, but dreams alone won't change your life. You need systems. You need clarity. You need motion. So let's walk through a step-by-step action plan, based on Robert Kiyosaki's principles, that will help you shift from passive income earner to proactive wealth builder. Step 1. Get real with your financial picture. Start where you are, not where you wish you were. Too many people avoid this step because it feels uncomfortable. But clarity is power. Create a simple personal balance sheet. Assets. Cash. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Real estate. Businesses you own. Intellectual property. Liabilities. Loans. Credit card debt. Mortgage. EMIs. Net worth equals assets, liabilities. Don't judge yourself. This is not about shame. It's about awareness. You can't build wealth in the dark. The first step to freedom is honesty. Face your numbers. Then change your story. Step 2. Define what financial freedom means to you. Kiyosaki emphasizes this, be specific with your goals. Don't just say, I want to be rich. Ask, how much monthly passive income do I want? By what age? Why does it matter to me? Example. Indian rupee 100,000/month passive income. In 5 years. So I can retire my parents and travel guilt-free. Clarity gives energy. Vagueness drains it. Dreams become goals when you add numbers and dates. Step 3. Break free from the paycheck trap. The poor and middle class focus on earned income, what they make from their job. But earned income is taxed the most. And it depends on your time and energy. The rich focus on passive income and portfolio income. Your job is a bridge, not the destination. Start shifting. From salary to side hustle. From consumption to creation. From spending to investing. Ask yourself, can I freelance one skill I have? Can I create a digital product, course, or YouTube channel? Can I learn about real estate or mutual fund investing? You don't need to quit your job. You just need to plant income seeds outside of it. Step 4. Become financially educated. Kiyosaki doesn't say, get a finance degree. He says, get financially smart. That means understanding cash flow, knowing the difference between good debt and bad debt, recognizing the power of leverage, learning how taxes work, reading financial statements. You don't need to become a CA. But you do need to know more than your banker. Action plan. Read one financial book every month. Start with The Millionaire Next Door, The Psychology of Money, and Cash Flow Quadrant. Follow financial YouTube channels and podcasts. Join a financial community or forum. Knowledge compounds. You can lose money, but you can't lose the skills that made it. Step 5. Build or buy assets. Here's the golden rule. The rich buy assets. The poor buy liabilities. The middle class buys liabilities thinking they're assets. So what qualifies as an asset? Assets put money in your pocket even when you're not working. Examples: rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, intellectual property, books, songs, apps, online businesses, franchises, peer-to-peer lending platforms. Kiyosaki urges, don't wait for the perfect asset. Start small. Learn fast. Even 1,000 Indian rupees invested every month is better than 0 Indian rupees. Step 6. Master the cash flow quadrant. In Kiyosaki's follow-up book, Cash Flow Quadrant, he introduces 4 types of income earners. 1. Employee. You have a job. 2. Self-employed. You own a job. 3. Business owner. You own a system. 4. Investor. Money works for you. The wealthy live in the B and I quadrants. The poor stay stuck in E and S. Your goal is to slowly shift right on the quadrant, without panic, but with purpose. Start with this. Begin a side hustle S. Scale it using systems or teams B. Reinvest profits in stocks or real estate I. This is the freedom formula. Don't work harder. Work smarter, on the right side of the quadrant. Step 7. Monitor and optimize. Rich people track their money like athletes track their stats. Every month, review your income sources, your expenses, your net worth, your investment returns. Use a spreadsheet, app, or even pen and paper. But measure everything. What gets measured, gets improved. Step 8. Give back and teach. This might surprise you. But Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that giving is a wealth principle. When you teach others, you internalize lessons. When you give freely, you break the grip of fear and scarcity. And when you become generous, time, money, or wisdom, you open doors you never saw before. Try this. Share this summary with a friend. Mentor someone younger. Teach your children about money. Donate to causes you believe in. Karma is real. So is compound generosity. Final words for part 4. Here's the truth. You don't have to be born into money. You don't have to be a financial genius. You just need a reason, a plan, a willingness to learn, and the courage to act. Rich Dad didn't give Robert Kiyosaki money. He gave him mindsets. Now those mindsets are in your hands. Don't let them sit as notes on a page. Turn them into action steps. And remember, the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. You're not here just to work hard. You're here to become financially free. And that freedom? It starts now. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 5. Real-life applications, stories and tools. You've heard the ideas. You've explored the mindset. You've even seen the roadmap. But knowledge without application is just trivia. So now, we go from theory to reality. This section is about how people just like you, students, employees, parents, and entrepreneurs, used Rich Dad's teachings to create real change. No Wall Street suits. No billion-dollar trust funds. Just everyday heroes who decided to act differently. Let's dive into their stories and the tools they used. Story 1, Priya, from college debt to digital assets. Priya was a 24-year-old engineering graduate from Pune. Top of her class, but buried in 7 Indian rupees lakhs of student loans. Her poor dad advice was: focus on your job, pay your EMI, and don't take risks. But one night, she listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad on Audible while traveling. That's when it clicked. She was chasing money, not building assets. What she did: started a blog about tech tutorials for students. Monetized it with affiliate links and Google ads. Learned SEO and content writing through free YouTube videos. After 6 months, the blog made 12,000 Indian rupees per month. Reinvested that into mutual funds and a course on coding for kids. Created her own coding course on Udemy. Today, at 27, Priya's passive income is 65,000 Indian rupees per month, more than her job. Her debt? Paid off early. Her mindset? Completely rewired. You don't need money to start. You need courage to think differently. Story 2, Rakesh, the middle-class school teacher turned investor. Rakesh, 45, taught maths at a government school in Bhopal. For 2 decades, he lived paycheck to paycheck, saving what little he could. Then one summer, his son gave him a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He laughed at first, too late for me. But something stirred. What if he could still become the investor in the cash flow quadrant? What he did: sold his unused scooter and bought 30,000 Indian rupees worth of blue-chip stocks. Opened a Demat account and subscribed to 2 Indian stock investing newsletters. Cut cable TV and watched YouTube channels on investing daily. Started SIPs, systematic investment plans, in index funds. Rented out 1 room in his house on Airbnb during festivals. Within 4 years, his investments had grown to 8.5 Indian rupees lakhs. He was still a teacher, but also an investor. He now teaches personal finance to his students alongside math. Age doesn't limit wealth. Mindset does. Tools to transform your financial life. Now that you've seen real examples, let's explore practical tools that make application easy and manageable, even if you're just starting. Tool 1, the Asset Liabilities Journal. Create a simple journal divided into 2 sides. Left, assets, anything that brings money in. Right, liabilities, anything that takes money out. Track weekly. Start noticing patterns. You'll be surprised how quickly your definition of necessities changes. Tool 2, Net Worth Tracker, use a spreadsheet or free app. Columns. Cash in hand. Bank balances. Investments. Fixed assets. Business income. Real estate value. Debt, student loan, home loan, credit card, etc. Update monthly. Watch how your decisions affect your future wealth. Tool 3, Financial Education Calendar. Every Sunday. Read 1 chapter of a finance book. Watch 1 educational video. Note 1 key takeaway to apply in the week ahead. Small weekly actions, big random motivation. Story 3, Kavya and Arjun, the couple who became landlords. Kavya was a marketing executive. Arjun worked in IT. They lived in Hyderabad and made decent income, but never had savings. Netflix, Swiggy, shopping, they were stuck in what Kiyosaki calls the rat race. But Kavya saw a video breakdown of Rich Dad Poor Dad on YouTube. They bought the book. Highlighted every chapter. And they made a decision. Buy a rental property before the next anniversary. What they did: sold their second car, which had a loan. Took a home loan for a 1 BHK flat on the city outskirts. Renovated it with simple, durable furniture. Listed it for 12,000 Indian rupees per month rent. ME? 9,000 Indian rupees. Net monthly passive income, 3,000 Indian rupees. It wasn't much. But it was their first real asset. By year 3, they had 2 such properties. They now use that rental income for vacations, guilt-free. Assets are freedom machines. Build one. Then build another. Daily habits from Rich Dad's philosophy. Change doesn't always come from huge breakthroughs. It often begins with small rituals that shift your thinking. Here are 5 daily habits you can adopt starting today. 1. Ask, is this an asset or a liability? Every purchase, ask yourself, does this grow my money or drain it? 2. Read 1 page from a money book. Keep Rich Dad Poor Dad on your nightstand. Read even 5 minutes a day. Keep the mindset alive. 3. Track every rupee. Use a simple notes app or diary. Track where every rupee goes. It's eye-opening and empowering. 4. Visualize your goal. Take 2 minutes to imagine your ideal life. Debt-free. Owning 3 properties. Getting paid while you sleep. That clarity will shape your decisions. 5. Teach someone else. Share 1 Rich Dad idea every week with a friend, child, or spouse. Teaching cements learning. And spreads freedom. Bonus, what to do when you feel stuck. Let's be real. There will be days you feel frustrated. Your investment will drop. Your business may not grow fast. Remember this. Winners are not those who never fail. Winners are those who never stop. Here's what Kiyosaki suggests. Reread your favorite chapter. Connect with a community of learners. Go back to your why. Take a small action today, even if it's just 100 Indian rupees invested or 10 minutes of learning. When in doubt, do. When you're stuck, move. Progress isn't a leap. It's a step. Closing thoughts for part 5. You don't need to remember every line of this book. But if you remember this one idea, you'll never be the same again. Don't work for money. Make money work for you. That is the essence of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now you've seen the path. You've heard the stories. You've learned the tools. It's your move. Will you be another reader? Or a new builder of wealth? Ready for part 6? Next, we'll move into the final reflection and a 30-day challenge based on Rich Dad Poor Dad to help you kickstart your financial freedom journey with daily tasks, weekly goals, and lifelong principles. Absolutely. Here's the final section, part 6 of the 20,000-word audiobook-style script summary of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Part 6, 30-Day Wealth Mindset Challenge and Final Reflection. Congratulations! You've not only heard the message of Rich Dad Poor Dad, you've felt it. But transformation isn't about what you know. It's about what you do consistently. So here's your 30-day wealth mindset challenge. Think of it as a financial gym, a plan to help you rewire your thoughts, strengthen your money muscles, and create momentum. Each day has one small, specific action. Are you ready? Let's begin. Week 1, Clarity and Awareness, days 1 to 7. Goal, know where you stand. Understand your patterns. Break financial autopilot. Day 1, calculate your net worth. Assets, liabilities equals net worth. No matter the number, face it. Own it. Write it down. Day 2, list your current income streams. Job. Side hustle. Interest. Rent. Now circle the ones that are active income, you work for it, versus passive, it works for you. Day 3, list your monthly expenses. Rent, bills, groceries, subscriptions, eating out. Write everything. You'll feel lighter just by knowing. Day 4, eliminate one useless expense. Pick one. Cancel a subscription. Uninstall a shopping app. Cut impulse spending. Redirect that money into your freedom fund. Day 5, track every rupee today. From 10 Indian rupees tea to 200 Indian rupees cab, write it. You'll never see spending the same way again. Day 6, read one chapter of Rich Dad Poor Dad, or reread a favorite. Reminder, repetition is power. Let the mindset sink deeper. Day 7, reflect, what did you learn about yourself this week? Jot down. One good financial habit you already have. One bad one you want to break. One insight that surprised you. Week 2, foundation building, days 8 to 14. Goal, set a direction. Create systems. Start tiny investments. Day 8, define your why. Why do you want financial freedom? Security? Travel? Retire your parents? Write your personal wealth mission in one sentence. Day 9, set a monthly passive income goal. Not huge. Just 1,000 rupees/month to start. Clarity turns dreams into strategy. Day 10, open a free demat or mutual fund account if you haven't yet. It's not about investing today. It's about being ready. Day 11, start a 100 Indian rupees SIP. Yes. Just 100 Indian rupees. The habit is more important than the amount. Momentum or perfection. Day 12, list 3 low-cost assets you could create. Examples. Blog. YouTube channel. Etsy shop. Digital product. Ebook. Instagram page with affiliate links. Pick one to start brainstorming. Day 13, watch one finance video on YouTube. Choose a trusted creator, Pranjal Kamra, Ca Rachina Ranade, or Neha Nagar. Write one key learning. Day 14, teach a friend or family member one thing you learned. You learn deeper by teaching. Plus, you uplift others. Week 3, execution and income expansion, days 15 to 21. Goal, start building income machines. Experiment with action. Day 15, identify one unused skill you can monetize. Are you good at? Graphic design? Writing? Teaching math? Fixing gadgets? Everything can be turned into income. Day 16, offer a paid service to someone. Even for 100 Indian rupees. Proof of concept builds confidence. Ask a friend if you can help and charge for it. Day 17, research one passive income idea for 30 minutes. Pick one. Dropshipping. Dividend investing. Ebooks. Print on demand. Note 3 takeaways. Day 18, record a 1-minute video sharing your journey so far. Share it online or keep it private. It'll be your motivation archive. Day 19, set a 3-month financial goal. Example, save 15,000 Indian rupees for a stock investment. Put it on your wall, fridge, or phone lock screen. Day 20, create a budget for next month. Use a spreadsheet or paper. Prioritize investing before spending. Day 21, celebrate your wins. List. Indian rupee saved. Debt repaid. Habits started. Knowledge gained. Progress deserves recognition. Week 4, mindset deepening and long-term vision, days 22 to 30. Goal, cement the mindset. Plan the future. Build financial identity. Day 22, visualize your dream financial life. Where do you live? How much passive income do you have? What work excites you? Write a vivid paragraph. Day 23, write a letter to your future rich self. Start with, Dear future me, I'm proud of you because. Seal it. Or email it to yourself to open in 1 year. Day 24, join an online community or forum. Telegram, Reddit, WhatsApp groups, be around people who talk assets, not discounts. Day 25, identify one toxic money belief you inherited. Example, rich people are greedy. Write the opposite. Wealth is a tool for good. I use it wisely. Day 26, create a freedom fund jar. Every 10 Indian rupees counts. It's your reminder that wealth grows, drop by drop. Day 27, share one financial lesson online. Post a tweet, story, reel, or blog. Own your new identity. Day 28, revisit your asset/liability journal. What's changed? What can you improve? Day 29, review the 30-day journey. Read your notes. Look at your progress. Feel the shift inside you. Day 30, write a commitment statement. Example. I commit to living like Rich Dad. I build assets, think independently, and help others rise. Sign it. Keep it visible. Final reflection, where you stand now. You are no longer just a reader. You're a financial thinker. You've studied both mindsets. Poor dad, earn, spend, regret. Rich dad, learn, invest, build. And now, you've started living like Rich Dad. You don't need to be a millionaire to adopt this mindset. You just need to believe. I am the architect of my financial future. Whether you're a student, employee, entrepreneur, or retiree. The moment you start thinking in assets, you change the game. Closing loop, the one idea that changes everything. Let's come back to the core. Don't work for money. Make money work for you. If this is the only sentence you remember, it's enough. Because behind that idea lies a revolution. And you, dear listener, are now part of it. Thank you for taking this journey. You didn't just finish a book summary. You began a new story. Yours. And in your story, you are the Rich Dad. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive journey into Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. We hope the ideas and insights shared in this summary have inspired you to think differently about money, mindset, and your own path to financial freedom. If you found value in this audiobook summary, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into powerful books that can change your life. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building the life you deserve. Thanks for listening.